can I go so I don't have to fly with everything? Where can I ship stuff in advance from Amazon, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so Grantham has an Asda, which has been purchased by Walmart. So we kind of have that, and it's worth looking into.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Obstacle Racing Media YouTube channel. We are here to talk about World's Toughest Mudder 2025. 2024 hasn't even happened yet, but I learned it was going to be in England. Will I Can is probably the most Tough Mudder person I know over in England. Does that make sense? So he's the first call I made to learn some early info on what's it like over there. Do they have places we can shop? Is there lots of places to sleep nearby? What's the scenario with he says it's Belvoir Castle.
Belvoir Castle.
I'm going to say Belvoir.
Belvoir Castle.
I'm just going to do it. I could be wrong, but I'm going to say Belvoir till you guys tell me not to, I guess. If you're new here, welcome. World's Toughest Mudder is my absolute favorite event. We made a documentary a couple of years ago, which I'll link below, and is my love letter to World's Toughest Mudder, if you will. It's really good. We have a ton of World's Toughest content from over the years on the podcast, on the website. You can follow us. You can do all that fun stuff. But let's get to Will, Chung, and I. Away we go. Hey, Will, guess what?
Hey, Matt B. Davis. What's going on?
When I try to find you to send you a note on WhatsApp, I start typing in WIL, and the first thing that pops up is Will Dean and not Will Chung. And I see that my last message to him was a bit of a troll where I said, "Oh, hey, I'm in England. Can I stop by and catch up?" And he said no. So it's just funny because I don't think of that man that often. But we are talking about Tough Mudder today, so I thought it would be interesting.
Some fantastic news, right?
You don't have anything to say about that?
Well, I mean, I speak to you quite often, and we're obviously going to do an ATHX in a few months, and we've spent time in the UK together, lots of time in the UK, and how I'm not at the top, I don't know. Maybe I should have a little special gold star next to my name or something.
I mean, I just typed WIL and that's what it serves me. I don't know why. I just thought you'd find it funny that, Will Dean, the man who's at
clearly
least
more important than me,
50% responsible for the starting of Tough Mudder, so that one day you and I could be in Saudi Arabia running around the desert, right? And now perhaps running around, let's see if I can get this right, Belvoir Castle.
Nope.
Belvoir.
Nope.
All right. Well, good time for me to learn. Go ahead.
Beaver, as in the animal. Belvoir Castle.
Get out of here.
Honestly.
And how is that spelled?
It's spelled the French way, so Belvoir.
So how would the French, do you think, say it?
I'm sure the French would say Belvoir, but we're not in France. We're in the middle of England, and the way the locals say it, like myself, is beaver.
Well, Americans, we have our weird things too. They say English is very tough to learn because we have so many weird things. We dropped the U. You guys kept it. Canadians kept it as well for many words. Do you want to try tilting your phone to be a square? Because then you and I will be symmetrical, which I quite like on the video screen. And it didn't. All right, let's try it this way. Hang on. Let me try it. Try it now. Come on. Take your lock off,
Right,
Will.
Hold on.
You're very technologically savvy. I know you will.
Why is it not? It's still even upside down. It's not working.
Okay, just go back. It's fine.
Oh, there.
Perfect. You did it. So you might have known this news. My little birds told me nothing. I had no clue this was coming. I saw a post on the 26th that said news coming on the 28th. And I reached out to Tough Mudder and said, "Can you let me know?" And they said, "Yes, you're in the loop." And then nothing happened until I woke up Sunday morning, and people started sharing with me the news. And I was like, holy shit, going to the UK for WTM 2025 and in the summer. So much to talk about. The move over there, the move to get it in a different part of the calendar, which makes for a short calendar the first year, but then obviously it'll be a year apart. Where do you want to go first?
Well, let's talk about the announcement, I guess, because there was lots of rumors going around that obviously they'd been teasing something. So I didn't know for sure. But a mutual friend, do you remember Charlie Burr?
Of course.
He's always so Charlie. We shared a pit at Europe's Toughest Mudder, and we was talking about what could it be, and kind of all of us kind of said it's got to be a 24-hour one. It's got to be. But Charlie knows one of the senior managers at Beaver Castle, and because he moves in very different circles to what I do, and he said before COVID, Tough Mudder had been talking to the Beaver Estate about a 24-hour event, and probably, and I kind of actually do remember from being an ambassador a while ago that there was some chatter.
Do you think at that time,
he basically then confirmed it.
Do you think pre-COVID they would have looked at doing two, like a Europe's World's Toughest and American, maybe?
Well, that was the other thing. So I think yes, definitely was going to be two. But I was saying no, it's not going to be Worlds coming to the UK. That's never going to happen. Maybe there's another 24-hour, and then there will be Worlds as well. It's not going to be a Worlds. So I was kind of half right and half wrong. But I'm so excited. I am so excited about it coming to the UK.
Listen, you know how one Mappy Davis felt when on one Vegas Monday morning, I was told they were coming to Atlanta, and we had heard the rumor. But when it flashed on the screen, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And we ended up with two Worlds, one or two toughest. I can't remember. And now looking back, I almost can't believe it. Like, oh my God, I had these events where the world comes like in my backyard, 40-minute drive, but still. So awesome for you. That's fantastic. And awesome for all the Brits that have been, and the Europe and the Euros that have been, coming over here, many since 2012. So you've earned it. You deserve it.
I definitely think so. And there's so many people already signed up for it because they will always say, I can't afford to go to America. It's once in a lifetime opportunity, family, work and everything else. And all of them almost immediately, I signed up, and you're kind of showing the active, Tough Mudder receipts. Like, yes, I'm in. So there's so much excitement here in the UK. It's unbelievable. The chatter across all the Facebooks and the internets and the TikTokers and the Instagram, just everyone is going wild for it. It's unbelievable.
Has anyone sent you a video stating it's coming home? We should make one. World's Toughest coming home. It's coming home.
That was my joke on Saturday, because obviously there was rumors about, and I said, what do you know what's going on? I said, it's coming home, isn't it? It's coming home. It's coming home. And here it is. It's coming home.
Well, I gotta say that when I saw the announcement, I'll tell you what I told many friends. I said, well, I kind of was already thinking this year might be my last Worlds because it's Florida, and because I just can't keep going forever. And I'm doing a lot more hybrid stuff now. And I think this will be my last one. I've been saying that to at least 2 or 3 people. I haven't posted it, just when people ask, are you going to go? And in 6 minutes of talking to you, I'm like, oh, I have to go. I have to see what they're doing over there. I have to see the differences. So yeah, fuck it. I'll go.
oh my God, Matt. I mean, if you weren't going to come this time, I would have just dragged you from Atlanta here. Anyways.
Would you unfriend me? Me?
We would not be talking ever again. But I've come to your hometown. You'll be coming to my hometown. So this is going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I do. That I have a special bond with the Brits. Even I actually have gotten to come in recent years, but before that, I always talk to you guys. I always make fun of the accents. My love for all things English. My wife and I are watching Nottingham right now. I don't know if you've watched that one.
I haven't. No.
The Americans, we cannot stop watching a British crime show. If there's somebody gets murdered, we can't stop watching these usually 2 or 3 season things. This is a new one. I think it's new. It's on. We actually bought BritBox again. My wife and I. Quick side note. Oh, you're talking to me? Quick side note. That never happens. My wife and I did this big audit, right? Like, okay, we're spending $90 a month. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. So it's like, let's just keep the essentials, right? Netflix, HBO, and I think one other, maybe Hulu. Like, we really trimmed it down. Like, honey, we're going to save $70 a month. In 5 months, that's $350. You know, like, you do the math, right? So then half a week goes by, and it's like, hey, this Presumed Innocent looks pretty good on Apple TV. Let's get that. So we get Apple TV. So we finished that Presumed Innocent. It was great. And then my wife says, oh, try Nottingham. I think that's Apple TV as well. Great. We already bought that. And you go to it and it says, no, you can do this for BritBox. And so now we've got a anyway, we're already back to spending the money. They're just going to get you. The streaming services are going to get you. That's the theory.
I only have YouTube Premium. Oh, and Amazon, but I use Amazon more for the delivery and the shopping, but it's good to have Amazon as well. But just use YouTube Premium. I think I'm very much like you, that I just watch so much YouTube Premium that, you know, the £5 a month is just a no-brainer. It's like I when I watch YouTube at work now for whatever and ads come on, I'm just so annoyed. You know, it's a 15-second or 5-second pre-roll. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Just get rid of the bloody ads.
Yeah, I think over here it's not £5 a month. Over here it's like £70 a month for YouTube Premium.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because you get everything. You get all the sports. They give you everything.
Oh wow, we'd have no channels apart from YouTube. There's no additional stuff apart from YouTube.
Yeah, you get. I think they did it that way on purpose, and I think that's what we would all like. Like let's just go back to the bundling because it seems to be the easiest thing, especially because if you've been around a while, you might be paying for multiple things through multiple places, right? Like your ESPN Disney bundle is through Apple, but then you cancel one but keep the other. Anyway, it's a fucking mess. Anyhow, so back to the topic at hand. Beaver Castle, you've got me excited. I guess I'll come. So let's start getting into the nitty gritty. Will this be is this a middle of nowhere scenario? Is this like bumfuck Alabama? Is this more like Vegas? Is it something in between?
I think it's going to be something in between. So Grantham is in what we call the East Midlands. It's on the main train line from London King's Cross, so it's an hour and 15 minutes to Grantham. If you drive let's go.
You know, I love a Google map. Let's do it, man.
If you drive from Heathrow or Gatwick, it's probably about a 3-hour drive. The nearest, I know most of you guys.
You're going too fast.
I'm sorry.
UK. Just type UK, see what happens.
Yeah.
Bam. Okay. So
okay.
I know you live way down here, right?
No, Matt. We drove together past my house as we was going up to Yorkshire that time. And how dare you?
Sorry, somebody else I know lives down here. Sorry, my other mate lives down here. So
you don't have any British mates.
I do though. I do. So here's Coventry, the world famous Coventry Council. Remember Coventry Council?
So you need.
Where should I fly into? Where should I fly into? Where should I fly into?
So you will. So if people want to fly in a bit closer, then Birmingham Airport or Manchester are both international airports and fly regularly to and from the States. But most of you, I think, will either come into Heathrow, which is West London, or Gatwick, which is South London. I would suggest if people are flying into London, Heathrow is a better airport than Gatwick.
Okay. And then we're going to type in Bell.
No, type in Grantham. I can even see it near the top of your screen. What the hell? Yeah, okay, go on. Scroll out then.
So it's north of Knipton or Nipton and Croxton Carriel. And it's
so if you look just to the right-hand side, Grantham is the nearest town, and it's 10 minutes in a cab ride.
So this hotel is going to sell out in like 5 minutes, right? It does not look that big.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there plenty of options to stay nearby for the night before and the Monday after?
So yes, there's plenty. So Grantham has a few hotels. If you just scroll out a little bit more, there's a couple of towns that are still pretty close. So Nottingham, as you've been talking, is only a 40-minute drive, I think, to site. So that you can see that just in the top left corner.
I don't see it.
Okay, move to your left and scroll to your left a little bit.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, so
So
there's Nottingham. So this is a pretty big town.
Nottingham's huge. It's about 1 million people. Then if you're into a little bit more history, if you scroll to your right a little, you've got Lincoln, the city, as in Lincolnshire. Maybe scroll up a little bit. There's Lincoln. So that's quite a large city. It's got 2 universities now, so that's quite a lot of people.
I do
And
not
then
see.
you can
I do not see Lincoln.
Oh, you're right. You're right there.
Oh, there.
Maybe you're there.
Sorry.
That's Lincoln. And then if you just move to your left a little bit, Newark, which is my hometown where I grew up. That's a smallish town. But again, you've probably got 3 or 4 cities that are within half an hour or so. And actually, Matt, if you do come, I will take you to Newark because the last time you were talking about when you was in England, you was bugging me about the castle, and we do have a castle in Newark. We have a castle in Nottingham and a castle in Lincoln.
I can see the Newark Castle.
Yeah.
Is this anywhere near Harrenhal?
Harrenhal? No.
You don't know Harrenhal?
No.
Don't tell me you're not a Game of Thrones fan.
I've watched it. I wouldn't say I was a fan.
Okay. We will not. We won't dwell on that. So
Okay.
the other questions people will ask. You really should just do a. You should do a vlog, and I'll share shit out of it. Is the other stuff people ask is like the equivalent of the Walmart. Like where can I go so I don't have to fly with everything? Where can I ship stuff in advance from Amazon, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so Grantham has an Asda, which has been purchased by Walmart. So we kind of have that, and it's worth looking into.
What's it called? Can you spell that?
Asda, ASDA, and it was bought by Walmart several years ago.
Okay. Got it.
So there's one in Grantham, and you'll be able to get that. Otherwise, Nottingham's got lots of large supermarkets, but Asda will be the place. We don't have anything, unfortunately, the equivalent of a Dick's Sporting Goods, which when I went to Dick's Sporting Goods last couple of years ago, it blew my mind how much stuff it's got there. So we don't, unfortunately, have anything quite the same as that. So, but Asda and a shop called The Range. The Range is pretty cool as well, but I think there's one in Lincoln and Nottingham, but not in Grantham. But you're doing your shopping.
I can do a lot of food though. That's most important. I can buy some food. So let's add some Asian dine-in there. Yes, no.
Yeah, if you wish.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest questions people are going to have is where can I get stuff? But yeah, the essentials of food is one thing, but then yeah, if you forgot to pack a headlamp, do you have the equivalent of like the REI or Dick's like you're talking about?
Yeah, there's a few sports stores, and again in Grantham or Nottingham, you'll be able to get those. So things like I think it's called Mountain Warehouse, where you'll be able to get your really good head torches. Decathlon, there's one in Nottingham, probably a big superstore. Sports Direct, possibly, but Mountain Warehouse is probably your best bet for kind of the more rugged. Shit, I forgot my head torch. Where do I get one of those from?
Got it. So the real interesting thing to see will be if the numbers do go up, right? Because the numbers have relatively stayed the same for World's Toughest. They've gone down a little, but when we thought, oh, moving it to the West Coast, it might jump, or moving it back to the East Coast, it might jump. Sadly, Atlanta was the worst years. I think the lowest attended years. And one of them And well, it was bloody freezing year one, and then year two it was not quite as bad, but the year one scared the shit out of anybody who wanted to come back, I think, because it was literally the coldest one we ever had. So let's talk about this venue then. You've been to it a bunch. I assume it has water and water submersions and swims and all the rest of it.
So Beaver Castle Estate is really interesting because they already hold at least one other 24-hour trail running event. So they're actually really set up for this sort of large event. And I know I've done that 24-hour event. It's called Equinox 24 if anyone's interested. And I think there's several thousand runners doing Equinox 24. It's every September. And usually, unfortunately for me, it clashes with London South almost every weekend.
So it's just a looped trail race?
10K. So, but the good thing I think about the Beaver Estate is that it's not muddy. There's a lot of trail. It's kind of very much like Five Pass, a lot of grass and green, but it doesn't really get muddy. There's a huge lake in the center, which we've never really used. We've only used kind of an inlet that they use for Creek Crusade. So I don't know whether the lake would be good enough for us to do something like the Cliff or Stacks or something like that. They've never really used the water, but lots of hills and then a really large central part where they normally have things like Block Ness and Funky Monkey and others where it's quite flat. So they've got a bit of everything at the Beaver Estate. And as I was talking to our mutual friend Ian Kay, saying it's quite generic, but generic in a good way, where Yorkshire is kind of the hilly one. You've got Northwest, which is the muddy one. London South is my favorite. It's very traily, very foresty. It's really runnable and relatively flat. So everything's got, I guess, a bit of a character. But Midlands doesn't have a character, but that in a good way means it can be molded into whatever Tough Mudder want. So
right.
It's hilly in parts. There's a very large valley. Beautiful views of certain areas. The castle, of course, which makes it a little bit different, but it's well set up for very large events too. So I think they've made a really good choice. And of course, it's home of ETM. It's where ETM started. Was it 2017, and was there for several years before it then started to move around to Northwest for a year and over to here in Yorkshire for a year.
And do you think they did that just for? Do you think they moved it just to mix it up?
I think so, especially with Northwest, and I can see why they moved it to Northwest. It's closer to a larger conurbation, urban conurbation, and it's relatively flat. And I think Northwest is very, very muddy as well. It is the muddiest. And so it brings a really different characteristic in how you tackle the course, because it's not just muddy, it's sloppy, gloopy, and you could get stuck in Creek Crusade, no word of a lie, get stuck in it for 10 minutes because you're just trying to get through. So it brings a different characteristic. I don't know why they brought it to Yorkshire. I've already told TMHQ Yorkshire's not really my favorite, but of course they're moving on again back to Midlands. So yeah, very, very excited.
Well, Yorkshire is the one that I did, and I do remember seeing some very beautiful, green. I'm definitely in England's, views that I had, along with the amazing, what do you call those stone walls that have been there for 1,000 years?
Don't know, just drywall. That's probably more of an Ian question than a Will question.
No, you guys, I was like, you guys pointed that out to me, like those rocks have been there for 1,000 years.
Stonehenge.
No, not Stonehenge. Like you're walking through, like you're like crossing this part of the farm, right? And you're going in between like two brick like ish walls, and they're just made by hand, by stone, right? And they've been there. Like if you move a stone, it had been there for 1,000 years. What are those called? There's a word for it.
I have no idea.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You should be ashamed of yourself.
That's what Google is for.
If you're listening, English people, or Ian K, if you're listening to this, send a message so He knows what we're talking about. It's like, oh yeah, those are the blah blah walls. Anyway, it looked very cool to me. So for you to describe that as generic, it didn't feel very generic to me, but compared to the ones you're talking about, I can see what you mean.
Yeah.
So you just did Toughest.
Yes.
And how did you get on?
I was not prepared. Mentally, I wasn't prepared. I did 10 miles. I did 2 laps, and then I just tapped out. I really wasn't. I'd already talked myself out of it the coming weeks before. And so I hung out with Becky Neal and Steve Fell and supported some runners. And for me, it was about staying up all night, again, ready for World's Toughest Mudder. So yeah, I supported other runners and clapped people through up to kind of 8 o'clock in the morning. But I wasn't tired, I wasn't ill, I wasn't injured. So it just mentally, I didn't want it. I didn't fancy it. So
I don't want it. So no, that's fine. That's fine. So for you, it was just like, let's train the body to stay up all night. Another time of doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is this because I am going to see you in Orlando here shortly? Ocala?
Well, I am going to be there. It's whether you're going to be there too, Matt B. Davis, but
I'm going to be there. I already told you I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in it's I can drive. I won't. I'll probably fly, but I could drive. It'll be the second year in a row I've driven. I drove to whatever bullshit Alabama last year. God, is it been that feels like 5 years ago, honestly.
That was 2 years. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Wait, where was last year?
Texas.
Oh my God. It was 2 years ago. See? So yes, Texas. Yes. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me.
So shall we talk to you? I mean, what else do you want to know about the course and the venue? Actually, Matt, I was just saying, sorry, one more thing. The views are absolutely amazing. And what's maybe some of the pit crew should do, there's a spot that people from all over the area go to watch the sunset, and it's just outside, literally just outside the Beaver Estate. And so if your pit crew need a bit of time off, that's where they need to be heading to watch the sunset, because it is absolutely perfect spot.
Except that sunset is typically when we're putting on wetsuits, so probably not ideal.
I'd have had mine on before then, but yeah.
Well, you're a smart guy. You're also very small.
Cold
so
guy. Cold.
You're easy. You're easier to get in and out of it. So are there residents of the castle? Do the Beavers live there? Mr. and Mrs. Beaver or King or Prince Beaver live there?
It is a working castle, and the Duke of, and it's not even Duke of Lincolnshire, which is the odd thing. I think it's the Duke of Cheshire that lives at the castle. But yes, there is a Lord and Lady Duke or Duchess that do live at the castle.
So are you familiar with Sealand?
No.
Sealand is literally this, like, it's like basically a ship on top of like a steel structure that was built many, many, many years ago. And they are a nation. They are a principality, whatever you want to call it. And you can give them $100 and you can be noble. So I've almost done it twice. Once when I watched the 60-minute special and I almost bought it. And then just the other day I was looking, you can buy like what's the one under like Duke? What's under that? Let's just bring it up.
I think it's the Lord, because we have that here for Scottish people, or they sell it in Scotland, and your Lord or Lady of a particular part in Scotland.
Yes, you can be Lord or Lady, or you can be, let's see, Baron for $60, Lord or Lady for, this is American dollars, 30, Sir or Dame for 150, or Count or Countess for 300, Duke or Duchess for 749. Now, I have thought about this, and I've like I said, I almost have done it twice, because for $150, I can be Sir Matt Davis. Sir Matt B. Davis. How great would that be?
I think I know what to get you for your Christmas present, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. Go to Sealand, sealandgov.org or whatever it is. Let's see. sealandgov.org. And you can visit, right? But you get preference if you're, a member of the country, basically. So, because like you have to get on a ship and then they raise you up to it, right? And then like you get all the things, right? Like you can fight in the war with them if you want. I'm going to do all these things. So
you could sign up as a sir or duke and then just get called up if they go to war, and then off you go and go fight the Russians or something.
It's on 60 Minutes, by the way. If you can't find it, sorry, it's on YouTube on 60 Minutes. If you can't find it, 7 miles off the eastern shores of Britain, being battered by the North Sea, a World War II fort stood in international waters, rough towers. It was to become the birthplace of a nation. So anyway, it's still there, and I want to go visit. And I think in the age of influencers, that like they're giving preference to those people too, right? That might give them views. So I don't know if I can convince them with my measly 43K views on ORM, but when I come over there next, whether it's for Ethics or for Worlds 2026, I'd like to go visit my new homeland, my new country that I will go to in case something crazy breaks out. Listen, America's crazy shit is happening. I don't know if you heard, they took a shot at fucking Trump the other day. Who knows what might happen here?
Saw it. Yeah, it's all crazy. It's all crazy going on. And we was just saying actually in my World's Toughest Mudder chat group that will be coming over when the elections have been announced. So we don't know whether to be scared or kind of excited about that.
Oh, it'll be 2 weeks after the elections. When you come over, you're saying, for Worlds?
No, I think we're coming over for the election announcement will be when we come over to Worlds. Is that right?
When you say the announcement, the election's on November 2nd or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
First Thursday in November. So you're saying, hang on.
I think we come over on the 4th, I think. I can't remember the date.
Yeah, it could be crazy time. It could be an extremely crazy time. And hopefully by the 8th, it'll be sorted out. And Florida's a crazy place to be. So yeah, it could be you could be over here in a very crazy time. You may not be able to go back. So I hope you like America. You might get stuck here until they decide. Sometimes these elections, they don't decide until the inauguration in January. So you could become stuck as an American citizen.
That would be very weird. Yeah. And also Florida is very right wing, isn't it? So
yes, Florida is on the right, is they do lean that way. I know everything about your country's politics by watching what's his name? Who's John Oliver?
Oh yes, the English guy. Is it Tonight Show that he does?
Tonight, yes. He just explained the last 7 leaders to me, and that's what I know. Now I know about your government. Anyway, anything else you want to cover on World's Toughest? First, obviously more will be coming. I don't know about prize money. I don't know about anything else special. Like, I'm sure that's all going to be coming after this year's.
I guess in terms of transport, most people come into London. That's not a problem. Otherwise, Birmingham or Manchester are 2 other international airports that you can get into. I would suggest hiring a car. There's lots of public transport, but actually getting to and from the site itself is a little bit of an arse. So cars are easier. Lots of shops, and there's lots of things to do rather than just London. Nottingham, as you was just saying, home city, of course, is Sherwood Forest, very close. Wollerton Hall is in Nottingham, which is the home of Gotham Manor. And the Batman series. You go to Lincoln. Lincoln is very historic. It's got one of the 3 original copies of the Magna Carta.
Hang on a second. Batman, Bruce Wayne is an American. What do you mean you have Gotham?
Yes, well, Wollerton Hall was in the films as Manor, Wayne Manor.
Okay,
that was it.
Okay, just making sure. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sherwood Forest. Magna Carta, if you're into history, you can see that at Lincoln City Cathedral. If you're into science, Isaac Newton was born in Woolsthorpe Manor, which is just a stone's throw away from Grantham. So you can go visit and allegedly sit under the tree, the apple tree where he was struck with the apple. So that's very close. So there's loads of things to do in and around the Midlands, not just in London. So I guess that was my kind of soapbox.
All right. Well, listen, we'll definitely talk more. I'm going to see you this fall.
Yeah.
At World's Toughest, but let's talk at least once before then. And then, and then we're going to see each other in December, it looks like, I hope.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it, sort of, I think.